Hey, are you tired of the old stock pedals in your Miata? Well, luckily, Cobalt makes some really cool billet aluminum pedal covers in a bunch of different styles so you can customize your Miata's pedals. Let's go check them out. So what you see here is all the versions that we currently offer for the NA, but note that we make all of these for every generation of the Miata. There's a few different options in the configurator, and we actually have a page on our website where you can see all the different varieties. But let's go through these. First, we have this really cool grid pattern available in black or silver. I really like the silver ones. I think that's my personal favorite. We also have this really nice diamond pattern, which I think is going to suit our NA really nicely with the diamond stitch upholstery we have in there. We also make this really nice matte finish, which is just a classic look. And we have this raw billet version available with or without the Roadster logo, where you can see all the marks from the machining process. So, pretty cool variety. Let's go install these diamond ones in our NA. So whatever set of pedals you get, they all come with all the hardware you're gonna need, including a little Allen wrench. We are gonna have to drill into a couple of these pedals, but it's not gonna be too bad. This dead pedal or footrest on the far left, you actually just leave the original foot pad in place. It's all just plastic, and we're gonna drill some really small holes through here and use self-tapping screws to attach this to the plastic. So let's start there. So I'm gonna get it lined up, and I'm gonna use something that I can mark the holes with. I wanna make sure it's straight up and down. There's a tiny bit of overlap, so that's nice. This looks good here. Mark these holes. And in fact, if I'm feeling really brave, I could just hold it here and drill right through it. This is a, I believe, 3/32 drill bit. The instructions say 1/8 inch or smaller, so I went smaller. So the screw has plenty of plastic to bite into. And that should do the trick. Let's get those first 2 screws in. Probably should have opened this package first because I don't have enough hands now, but we'll figure it out.
There's the rock star.
Hey!
I'm talking about the energy drink.
Yeah, that's more accurate, yeah. It's a bit of a tricky place to work, but we can do it. Give it a little pressure to get it going. And I'll get the other one started before I tighten that all the way. And because we're just screwing into plastic, I don't want to go super tight with these. Just enough until they're all the way down. Okay, now we'll get the top ones. Close enough. Here's our first one installed. Next, let's do the brake and clutch pedals. These come with rubber pads on them. All you have to do is get behind them and peel them off. And these are pretty nicely worn out. By the way, we do have these new in case you want to keep your stock rubber pads, but let's replace them with something shiny. Yeah, you can see it wraps all the way around, so just have to peel it off. Okay, so we're gonna hold these up and mark the hole locations, much like before, except this time they use machine screws and lock nuts. So we need a little bit of a bigger hole. I believe it's a 3/16 hole we're gonna have to make, so I'll probably start with a small pilot hole and then make the full-size hole. Okay, so for these guys, I'm gonna try actually taping it to the pedal. I could try marking through the holes and then taking it off and drilling, but there's always a bit of variance of where those holes end up. So I kind of like having the piece in place and drilling through it. So let's try and get this nice and centered on the pedal. Come in here, make sure it's in the middle. And I could mark the middle of these black pedals and this one, but I think I can get pretty good by eye. I'll line it up with the top edge and tape it down. Now I can poke through these holes. I could have used a less wide piece of tape too, but you know, this was laying around. So I'm going to start off with a small pilot hole using the same 3/32 drill bit I had before. No particular reason, just it's smaller than 3/16. Might have to hold onto the pedal so I'm not pressing it down with the drill. So I'm gonna grab it up high to support it while I drill through. Can't really see what I'm doing because this tape is too wide. That's better. Now I can see. Try not to stab yourself in the hand. And as the shards of metal rain down, you do the next one. Let's take this off, and I'm gonna drill the bigger holes without the pedal there because they need to be slightly bigger than the screws. Don't forget to vacuum up your metal shards. Okay, now we got our 3/16 drill bit. I'm gonna enlarge those holes and we should be able to bolt the pedal cover on. Once again, I'm gonna have to hold the pedal. Top ones are pretty tricky. What you wanna do actually is disassemble the lower steering wheel cover. It's gonna give you a lot more access to the pedals. So I did that on purpose. So we'll finish up this last one. Access is a little bit tricky. Helps if you have a small drill. Might have to press down pretty firmly on the pedal. There we go. Now as an extra luxury, I'm going to deburr the holes with a deburring tool. Basically take the sharp edges off. Nice. Can I get to the back? Well, anytime you drill a hole through metal, it's a good idea to deburr just to get rid of that raised sharp edge that you might cut yourself on, or it might make the parts or fasteners not fit very well. So it's just a nice extra step. You don't have to, but I recommend it. Now let's see if these holes actually line up. I think they might. Let me get these all started just to see. Yep, this upper left one is the only one that's giving me a little grief. So what I'll do is I'll waller out that hole a little bit. That's the technical term. Gently remove the pedal. Okay. That looks like it's gonna work. So we'll take our little lock nuts and get them started on the backside, which will be impossible to show you, but you get it. Okay, now we're gonna use the provided Allen wrench and a 9mm wrench to tighten these things up. Now we can still do it this way. Nice. That looks really good. All right, now we got the brake pedal to do, which is exactly the same as the clutch we just did. And then we'll move on to the gas pedal, which is easy because there's already holes in it, so it just bolts through. Okay, last but not least, the gas pedal, arguably the most fun of all the pedals. As you can see, the screws are off to one side, but this can mount either way. So it might fit a little better one way or the other, but it actually works both ways. It uses the same kind of fasteners as the others. So all we gotta do is hold it up and line it up with the holes. Now what do we like, this way or that way? Let's say this way. Never heard of them. Okay, those look really good. Okay, all done. That wasn't too bad. Drilling the holes was the hardest part, but aside from that, these look amazing. They definitely raised the level of this pedal area. And it matches the diamond stitch really nicely, which you can get from Mazda Miata as well. But if you like any of these pedals, you can check them all out at MazdaMiata.com, and I'll see you in the next video.